The Milwaukee Bucks just sent the NBA a serious message as they win once again in effortless fashion on the second night of a back-to-back without their two-star players once again. We're going to break down who contributed to this win and what this means going forward as this Milwaukee Bucks team looks absolutely scary on the back of another phenomenal performance from rookie Ryan Rollins. Stay tuned for all that in this episode. But folks, first of all, happy holidays. Of course, it's, a couple days before Christmas is the time of recording, so hopefully you're all enjoying that. But quick reminder, hit the subscribe button. If you're part of the 83% and you aren't subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers, trying to hit it by the end of the year, the end of 2024. So if you want to help us towards that goal and you're enjoying the Daily Bucks content, make sure to smash that subscribe button. And again, happy holidays to you all that celebrate. And if not, hopefully you're enjoying some time with your family. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things. And speaking about families, this Milwaukee Bucks team looks like they're a family. They've been playing so well together as of late. They win another huge game, and this time on the back of a bunch of different players. And obviously, my last video, the last post-game video, was focused on, of course, Ryan Rollins and how good he was. He had another solid performance tonight, but I saw you guys in the comments saying Bobby Portis had a near triple point, or a 34-point triple-double almost, a near 34-point triple-double, and I wasn't giving him any credit. To his credit, he played phenomenally. I just wanted to highlight Ryan Rollins in the last video. But, ladies and gentlemen, what a game from every single player involved. Like, coming into this game, you're on the second night of a back-to-back, albeit against a very bad Chicago Bulls team. But you're looking at it and you're thinking, okay, the Bucks need to go ahead and win this game. If they don't win this game, is it the end of the world? No, there's all the excuses in the world. But they've been playing so well. You have Chris Middleton. He had a huge hot stretch there in the second quarter. He was hitting step-back threes. He was hitting pull-up middies. You have Brook Lopez dominating in the post, throwing it back to his time with Brooklyn. He was also facilitating really well as well. And him and Gary Trent Jr. had a couple of nice handoffs leading to some open threes for Gary Trent Jr. But man, oh man, when you're looking at how this team is playing now, again, they had all the excuses in the world. They're missing their two best players. And then you come out, Bobby Portis has been lights out, 19 and 13. He's been really good. And there's a lot of people out there saying he's irreplaceable to this team. I wouldn't go that far necessarily, but he's been playing really well. Chris Middleton, this was the Chris Middleton show tonight. And whether or not you you thought this team was good without Chris Middleton, having him back is absolutely crucial. 21 points, 5 assists, a steal, and he had to take on more of a predominant scoring role tonight. And the reason for that is, of course, because they're missing their two best scorers in Dame and in Dame and Giannis. And what that means is when Dame and Giannis are playing together, again, Chris Middleton's not used to playing with another co-star alongside Giannis, but with Dame there, we've seen him off the bench really facilitate well. That's been his main thing. And this is another game where Taurean Prince is coming off of the bench and they're rocking the Ryan Rollins Ajax starting lineup there. And Ajax only had one field goal made, and it was early in the first quarter. It was one of the first shots of the game. He nailed the three, but he does all the other things well. His defense is phenomenal. Of course, we all know that. I mean, everybody played well tonight. Even DeLon Wright, who I said should lose his spot as the backup point guard once everyone's healthy, to Ryan Rollins, but I still stand by that. He had a very good game tonight. Gary Trent Jr., he's starting to find his rhythm here. And as you start to look about how this team is like shaping up, you look at Chris Middleton, and we're going to dive into him more. Don't worry. But what a phenomenal game from Chris Middleton again. He was hitting pull-up middies, pull-up threes. He was facilitating well as well, but in a game where you needed your veterans to be aggressive, you had Brook Lopez hitting from the parking lot. You had him, hitting a couple post hook shots against, the opposing team's guard, whether that was Kobe White, whether that was Zach LaVine, whoever it ended up being. You look at it, and Brook Lopez was dominating. Throwback. And then you look at the team's three-point percentage, 18 for 43, sorry. Still not great, but not bad. Pretty good. Very, very solid. Respectable three-point percentage. And in a game where Taurean Prince has started to cool down a little bit, I'm very curious to see now what Doc Rivers is going to do once everyone's healthy. Does he keep Ajax in the starting lineup and keep Bobby Portis in the starting lineup? It's something to consider. He's obviously been replacing Taurean Prince's spot, and he's been playing really well. Do they move, Bobby back to the bench and rock Chris Middleton? I think ultimately it'll be Dame, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, and then whoever else they decide, obviously Giannis. So maybe they put Middleton back to the bench and keep Andre Jackson Jr., depending on how they want to rock things. But man, oh man, was Bucks fans are fired up about Chris Middleton. And it's exactly what they needed, because ultimately, we were talking about it earlier on in the season. When the team wasn't playing well, we said, hey, wait till Chris Middleton comes back. He really takes pressure off a lot of these guys. And that's exactly what he's been doing. He's been alleviating pressure from the offense in the sense of Dame and Giannis, and even the second unit. In the brief time they played together before they both went down with injuries, Dame and Giannis, Chris Middleton has obviously been on the bench, facilitating really well, playing starting point guard when they played backup point guard when they were playing together briefly alongside Dame and Giannis. And now once, he was manning that second unit. But now when he's had been thrusted into the top unit, you can see how much more comfortable he looks out there on the floor. He's hitting, like I mentioned, hitting pull-ups, using screens. For the first few games, he wasn't looking like the Chris Middleton we knew offensively. He was throwing a lot of turnovers, still throwing a little bit of them, but he was super indecisive. And what we saw tonight was the opposite of that. He was super decisive. He was getting to his spots like the Chris Middleton we used to see. He's still playing limited minutes at this point, 23 minutes, putting up 21 points, an absolute masterclass for Chris Middleton. And it really goes to show that this team has a very high ceiling at this point. You have AJ Green continuing to play very solid. He went 1 for 5 from 3, but you love his defensive effort, played phenomenal defense, and you want him to shoot those shots. You want him to go 1 for 5 from 3 if it means taking 5 good shots. And in a game where no one was really playing poorly, I was very happy with the performance tonight. And again, you can't really be upset with this team's performance over the past, the record in their past 15, 20 games is absolutely phenomenal. They started 2-8. Things were really bad. But the biggest takeaway for me tonight was that Chris Middleton looks back, and him healthy alongside Dame and Giannis, it is a scary, scary sight for opposing teams. And Ryan Rollins, he still looks like, I still think he should be the backup point guard. And seeing how Doc Rivers has evolved, I think if this was Bud last year and it was still, obviously Bud, he would probably be giving Pat Connaughton 20 to 30 minutes a game, and we wouldn't have even seen sight of Ryan Rollins or even Ajax earlier on in the year. But because Doc Rivers has been willing to give these young guys a chance, and it's really just riding with the hot hands, we've seen AJ Green develop, we've seen Ajax develop, and now we've seen Ryan Rollins develop. And it's at the cost of Pat Connaughton, absolutely, and however much money he's making, his $8 million cap hit. But it doesn't matter because you're seeing production out of the young guys, and Doc's he's impressed me. He really has. Obviously, there was some hate at the start of the season. We know that NBA Central tweet saying that Doc Rivers has finally started to try when it comes to coaching, and now I think he's 15-1 since that tweet or something crazy like that. It might not be that good, but they're playing so well that I got to give some credit to Doc Rivers. He's making the right adjustments. He's playing the young guys. He's pulling all the right strings. His subs mid-game are very good. You're still getting very good use out of Gary Trent Jr., who at this point has become kind of a bench player, a sixth, seventh man, Torian Princeman being the sixth man a little bit lately, depending on who's in foul trouble and things like that. They're getting their guards going. Gary Trent Jr. still getting involved. DeLon Wright tonight getting involved. AJ Green consistently getting involved because of his defense. And you can kind of swap AJ Green and Ajax. And you have Ryan Rollins. You have DeLon Wright playing the bench point guard right now because of Damian Lillard's absence. And as you start to do all of these things well, everything's going to be good. And now the next conversation is giving Ryan Rollins a full-time contract because he's been great. Yeah, DeLon Wright had a good game, but the big question now is, do Giannis and Dame sit on Boxing Day to give them some rest, let these guys roll? And that's going to be the biggest question. But what a game for the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the NBA is pretty terrified of this at the moment because, man, oh man, is this team rolling? And if Chris Middleton continues to play this way alongside Dame and Giannis, that is one of the best starting lineups in the NBA. But happy holidays again, everybody. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on all of this. A ton of news is going to be coming for you all. We keep you up to date with all the latest news. We have Giannis coming out and saying he's mad about the Bucks not be playing on Christmas Day, so we don't get to see the Bucks playing Christmas Day this year. What we do get to see is the Milwaukee Bucks continue to absolutely dominate. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Happy holidays, and we'll see you later.